Good morning, Bachelor Nation. What a treat. Thank you for tuning into Roses and Rosé live here on ET Live, and I am here live with Leo Dottavio. Round of applause for Leo in our little studio here. Yes. Leo, I have not gotten to meet you this season. I have just been watching you and your luscious locks through my screen, so it's lovely to see them here in person. And you guys, his hair smells great. How often do you wash that hair?
Not often.
Not often, that's the key.
There's a lot of chlorine in the show I do, so I think that's how it is.
Oh, because you really are, you're a stuntman. You do multiple times a week. You perform a show at Universal here in LA.
Yeah, it's a good time. It keeps me busy, and it's really fun during the summer. It's a fun job.
And he's been getting a lot of questions from Bachelorette fans now who attend the show.
Absolutely.
A lot. Okay, so of course, I'm sure you guys have questions and comments for Leo, especially because we are hot off of Men Tell All. So Leo's going to tell all, and he will answer your questions. Leave them on our social platforms. I will get them here on the iPad, and we are going to dive right in. Okay, Leo, I do want to get to Men Tell All, but first I have to address a few just like things about you this season. One, how often do people tell you you look like Jason Momoa?
That's a common occurrence recently. I think, he's been very popular in the last couple of years with the Aquaman and all that. So, yeah, I get that a lot.
Gets that a lot.
Yeah, I'm not Hawaiian like he is, but,
I think there's a job in the future for you. Actually be his stunt double.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. They put some wigs on guys, the hair's on. But yeah, we're about the same size. I would be a great job. I'd do it.
There we go. He would do it. Two, not at Men Tell All, missing from Men Tell All, was Clay Harbor. We got to see a wonderful moment in the bloopers of you and Clay in a bathtub together. Highly iconic. Where was Clay? What can you tell us?
Clay was trying to win his way back into the NFL. He's really working hard on doing that right now. So instead of coming and hearing us all like whine, I think it was a good idea for him to just focus on his football career. There's a little money involved there.
Hey, gotta make that bank. Clay was such a good guy. He seemed like a guy who was such a hard worker and just like good to everybody in the house.
I would say that's a great way to describe Clay. He was probably we got really close in the couple of weeks, in the bathtub, especially in the bathtub. That was a great time. But he's a kind soul. He's a gentle giant. You think like, oh, guys in the NFL, they're going to be like a certain way, but when you met him, he was really humble, and he was really he takes care of his whole family. The guy's he's a kind individual. I hope to be his friend for a long time.
Oh, a good soul. Who are you closest with out of the guys? Who are you staying tight with?
Definitely Colton, Clay, Jason, Blake, all the top guys. Will's, he's in L.A. Kristan, he's in L.A., so we've been hanging out too sometimes. And and Nick Spetskis is a guy that was really hilarious.
Nick,
Blonde Nick. We had a lot of humorous fun. We had a lot of banter and that was behind the scenes and during the filming that was really fun. Yeah, he's a character. Yeah.
Were you guys surprised to see some of the night one guys there? As Chris Harrison went around the room, those first few guys, I think Camille, I was like, who? Who are you? Did you remember them?
Yeah, that's why I asked one of them. I said, "Excuse me, sir, what's your name?" when they started talking. But yeah, the night one guys were surprising to be there. But they add a little flair. You gotta see what they want to say too. It's interesting. I guess
they had a few things to say. That one man in his cropped pants. There were a lot of looks being worked. You had on like what color? It was kind of a deep red maroon burgundy suit. Lovely. Everybody was really serving the fashion at the Men Tell All.
I was trying to be slightly humorous with it. I think it was Colton's stylist, and I asked her to make me look like Ron Burgundy as much as possible.
I love it that so like Colton as a stylist, you're friends with Colton. It's like get in on this, man.
Yeah, exactly.
And make me look like Ron Burgundy.
Exactly. He's a kind gentleman. He's a kind guy. He wants to help everybody.
Well, we're going to get into that because I do want your take on it. Sophia on YouTube says, can you tell us any funny moments from the mansion that they didn't show on the show? Any story you wish had made it to TV?
Yeah, they had a nice little, we had a mock trial in Utah where I played John Blanc. And then Nick Spetskis, who's a lawyer, was kind of running the court, and there was a judge. I think Jason was the judge, and Nick was defending me. As far as my actions after like what he did in Utah, so that was pretty hilarious.
Lawyer? Is Nick on Paradise?
Nick is on Paradise. Yeah.
Good. Let's get a second chance for Nick. I have to say, watching him, I was like, oh, that guy is cute. I didn't notice him before. And a lawyer? Nick in Paradise. Yeah. Okay. Becca had some good guys. A lot of guys with legit careers, hard workers. Things got petty at times, but overall, a good group of guys, except for one. Lincoln, he wasn't there. If you guys want to know Chris Harrison's take on why, that is up at etonline.com. And I'm glad Sophia brought up funny moments because I had almost forgotten about how you were the one just calling Lincoln out with your eyes when he was saying the earth was flat.
Yeah.
But was it wild to you to then hear that he had this criminal background? Did you guys have any sense of that in the house?
You know, I don't think we really thought that anybody didn't pass a background test or whatever, but it was, you know, I don't really know details about what it is or what happened. I don't read too much into any of that stuff, but you trust that the process and everybody that's there is there for the right reasons. At least you have to go in with that attitude with it. So no, we didn't really have a sense of that. You know, I mean, I personally wouldn't hang out with the guy, but that's all I really.
Well, he thought the earth was flat.
Yeah, exactly.
I have one more. This is just like such a silly thing, but it's been kind of circulating this season. There's a rumor that you were in a certain type of movie, a certain softcore type of film, Leo.
Softcore. I mean, if we want to call any sex scene in a film softcore, then sure, it was a sex scene in a movie. I am an actor and a stuntman, and I've been doing it for a while. But yeah, it was a sex scene in a movie. But I love that the tabloids want to call it a porn. But yeah, but I don't think ABC would be okay with a guy with a porn background.
I mean, thank you for clearing it up. That's the thing. I kind of did a little bit of my, journalistic work and looked it up, and I thought, not that I entirely know the definition or the specific parameters, but it just seemed like a movie. So you filmed a sex scene for a movie.
It was a sex scene in a movie,
as an actor.
Yeah. I mean, the stuff that Jason Momoa did on Game of Thrones is definitely a lot worse than anything I did, but yeah, but anybody that checks it out, it's it's entertaining. It was pretty funny. It was a humorous scene.
It was called High Heels and what was
High Heel Homicide. Yeah.
High Heel Homicide.
Yeah.
Yes, Leo Dottavio. Okay, you guys. Well, we have cleared that up.
You know?
What was it?
I gotta enjoy life sometimes.
Yes.
It was fun.
I mean, you seem like a guy who you are so playful. Like, follow Leo on Instagram. You're so fun to watch. And overall, enjoyed your experience on the show?
Yeah, I would say it was a very enjoyable experience. I mean, besides the lack of sleep, I think that's the only thing. You really don't sleep.
You're just on the go.
Yeah, you're on the go, but you also, that we were sleeping with, there's a lot of guys moving around the house and stuff like that.
Falling out of beds.
Yeah, falling out of beds, and things of that nature. So yeah, the lack of sleep is pretty evident. So you start getting a little delirious without any of the alcohol or anything.
David was on Men Tell All. I mean, when he fell out of that bed, like, could you really hear it in the house? Was it kind of a crazy night?
Yeah, it was a crazy night. I was so tired I didn't even get out of bed to look at the commotion. I was like, whatever.
Somebody's handling this.
Yeah, I was like, somebody got this. There's enough people out there. But yeah, it was crazy. This
comment from Erica via YouTube. Quote, what hair products do you use? This is important. What is your hair routine, Leo?
I try to tell people that I'm trying to come up with a hair routine because I don't really have a hair routine. So there's products being sent to me, some companies want to like me to try out their products. So I'm trying them out, and I'll let everybody know which ones I think are great, And,
well, what do you stand by? You only wash a few times a week?
Yeah, I would say sulfate-free shampoo and conditioner. Right. Just, don't let it dry it out too much. I mean, I kind of have naturally curly hair. People ask if
I couldn't tell.
I don't do too much to it, but yeah, like I'm in the I'm in the Waterworld show has a lot of chlorine in the water. It's like being a swimmer. I'm in there all the time. So I don't know if the chlorine is maybe it's good for my hair. I don't know.
All right, I love it. He's investigating and exploring.
I'm trying to figure it out.
I think that we need to see you do the covers of romance novels. Have you ever posed for one of those?
No, I've never posed for one of those. But a guy on the season actually did. Trent, he was there shortly, but he actually has done romance novel covers, which I think is hilarious because
what a spectrum of careers,
right?
Okay, so we have more of you guys' questions coming in. Thank you so much. We're going to get to these. I want to dive into Men Tell All, of course. We brought up Colton first. Let's play this this little clip that we have between Colton and Jean Blanc, because people really came for Colton about his virginity reveal. And Jean Blanc had a very vile thing to say. Here it is.
Okay, he'll take it back in 3 seconds. Okay. Now we're here. I mean, Colton, you acting like a but you never been so I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to answer Chris Harrison's question.
Not classy, San Diego, said
not
Ron
classy,
Burgundy.
no.
I mean, your face in that, what I have to
Yeah.
say, Leo, that I loved is when I was watching, you weren't really laughing at that. I mean, what was your reaction in the moment?
Reaction to the moment was like, why is this guy even getting a chance to talk, really? I don't know. Jean Blanc he was one of those guys that seemed to be a little bit...
Opportunistic?
Yeah, I would say, like, even when he gave her the gift at the end, like, it's like, really, you're trying to sell some more perfume. So, you know, when you come off that, like, ridiculous, like that, I don't know, dishonest or whatever, it's just pointless. Like, Colton's virginity isn't something that should be a negative, especially in today's society. I think that we need more of it, to be honest. Mm-hmm. So I think that the fact that Jean Blanc was being, you know, really trashy with the way he came at Colton. There is a witty way to kind of address anything or to clap back at someone, but that was just like kind of hitting below the belt.
That
And
was
it got the Colton a little bit. It got the Colton a little bit, and you know, it was nice to see because, I mean, I'm pretty like Colton's the kind of guy like he like puts he puts everything aside like at some point. So yeah, I'm sure his differences with Jean Blanc weren't gonna like last a long time. He was really just kind of upset that, you know, he really made Becca's time a lot more difficult on the show, that's for sure, you know?
Yeah. So when you guys, I know there's always, and we see it on social media, you guys go out after, have fun together, you're all reunited. Anybody who wasn't there, I mean, after what Jean Blanc did and said, is he out with the group or who wasn't present?
You know what? He isn't around any of the guys, so I don't think it even needs to really be addressed as far as is he out with the group. I don't think anybody's going to be reaching out to him.
So he was not partying with you guys?
No.
Anybody else who wasn't there?
No, I think everybody, we all partied together.
Okay, bye Jean Blanc. I don't have time for it. Okay, so more comments coming in. Pierce wants to know, you know what, Pierce, I'm going to save your question because we're going to get to this. You were, again, talking about how it kind of got to Colton a little bit. Was that hard as his friend to see him up there in tears? I mean, I saw looks on Colton's face during Men Tell All that I had not seen all season. Like, I felt like I saw real frustration, and then he got up there and he was in tears, and I don't think we'd seen him cry all season, really. Did you see a different side of him come out at Men Tell All?
You know, yeah, he's a sensitive person. You know, he has a lot of kindness. He wants to give back a lot, and you can tell that he's had his demons, you know, and for someone, he's probably had to deal with those kind of comments before, especially, you know, in the locker room and things like that. So it brought him back. It probably brought him back to a place that he didn't want to go to, and that was, you know, a very negative kind of place in his life where he had to like lie about who he was. And now that he opened up about who he truly is in front of like millions of people, I think that he wants to build off that and go in a direction that's more, you know, positive. He doesn't want to like go back to having to lie about who he is and such.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was tough to see him like that, you know, and I didn't like it. I defended him on it. There was I didn't play it, but I just said like we need more of him out there, like, you know.
Yeah, I remember you did say that. Yeah. Not all of the great comments make air. But yeah, it was vulnerable of him to open up the way that he did. And I talked to Colton about that, by the way, guys, at etonline.com is our full interview with Colton from After Men Tell All. He talks about revealing the virginity thing to like people he had lied to about it before, to teammates and coaches, and just the whole experience for him, and also addresses how people have been questioning his motives in going on The Bachelorette. So check that out. What do you think of that? You made a little chuckle there.
No, I think he had good motives.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that any of that's like legitimate. He really felt for Becca. So
was there anybody who didn't fall for Becca? Here's the thing. She's beautiful. She is genuinely such a good person. I've interviewed her several times at this point, been through so much in her life. A lot of the guys on your season seem to have fallen really hard, and I think it's because, like, what's not to like? I mean, did you get that sense that everyone had really, really true feelings for her?
Yes.
Except maybe Jean Blanc.
Except maybe Jean Blanc. I would say absolutely. I mean, that's why Chris Harrison was like, does anybody have anything bad to say about Becca? Because no one really had anything bad to say about her. She's a truly unique individual, you know, Minnesota nice.
Minnesota nice. A nice little compliment coming in for you from Elisa on YouTube. She says, Leo, you never brought drama in the house. You always conducted yourself with such class and integrity. True story. You were always there to like bring a little lightheartedness, but also rise above the fray. You were just such a welcome presence.
Thank you.
I do want to talk about Jordan, who made quite a few comments at Men Tell All, comments that I didn't always understand. Let's play this little moment actually between you and Jordan. Here's a clip from last night's episode.
Okay. So, Jordan, I mean, you're a modern-day narcissist. You fell in love with yourself a long time ago.
This house moved around me. I'm the mouse, they're the elephant. They're constantly going to be questioning me for the next 10 years. How did this guy even exist? I've got billboards up in all their minds. We're paving highways. I'll see you guys later, all right? I should have wore a work vest here. I should have wore a work vest.
So much in so little time. He should have worn a work vest. He's got billboards up and we're paving highways. He's the elephant, you're the mouse, or maybe the other way around. Like, I don't know where he comes up with this stuff. Do you think he pre-writes it and goes in with some stuff in his mind?
No, you know what it is? It's funny. Being somebody like in the industry, you know, you take like an improv class or something and it kind of teaches you to like loosen up and yes and, right? Like Jordan's kind of a naturally pretty good improver. The guy can really yes and.
Yes and himself.
He yes ands himself, exactly. It's almost like he's talking to himself, but it comes from such a like a goofy place. It's like not like, I kind of felt like he was really not too much of a competition with like Becca. With like he was like entertaining to her, but like you never really felt like, you know, you looked at her with Blake or like, you know, Garrett or like Colton or Jason or even Wills, like, and you'd see like a connection. But with Jordan, it was like, all right, well, you know, I keep him around as much as you want. Like I was like, keep him in the house. You know, he was like just an entertaining, goofy little dude. I mean, it wasn't like he was never like, he never really truly brought any anger out in me like he did with David. Like, I didn't get that, you know. Like,
well, and I also have to say, Jordan, as he said many times last night, I mean, I hope no one was playing a drinking game where they were drinking every time Jordan says he is himself and has always been himself. But he is, and he didn't really come at people with, like, I wouldn't call him a villain. He wasn't coming at people with anger and trying to create problems. He was defending himself and saying ridiculous things that were wonderful to hear. Yeah. You called him a modern-day narcissist. Yeah. Expand on that a little bit. Do you think Jordan's a narcissist?
Yeah, I mean, Jordan really, truly saw his reflection once and fell in love forever, which is great. I mean, you know what? It's beginning of a lifelong romance, you know? So go for it. There is a level of a certain narcissism you need to have to want to be on a show like The Bachelorette and to enjoy it, you know, and he really enjoys it.
Are you guys all narcissists?
Oh, we're all a little narcissistic, you know what I mean? But in a healthy way. I think there's a level of healthy narcissism that needs to be had to want to do this. But Jordan, yeah, he truly likes it, and I think he took the comment like, I think he liked it. He liked hearing it. You know,
he likes
won't
playful
tell you
banter.
Yeah, he won't tell you that, but he liked hearing that he's a modern day narcissist. You know, like I think that I think what narcissists first look at his reflection like in a I think it was at a river or like a lake.
Oh,
and
we're
then,
getting Greek mythology on this.
So,
okay, Leo, an educated man on the couch.
So,
well, and Colton and Jordan also had a little bit of back and forth. But again, when you guys go out after, like, is everybody cool with Jordan?
Yeah.
Was it all good?
Jordan is like he's the guy that like talks to the club owner right before everybody comes in. I just go, how you doing? Yeah, yeah. Jordan, come over here. Go ahead. And it's like, the next thing we know, we're in there with some bottle service, you know?
Well, that's a great friend to have.
Oh, it's a great friend. And Nick and Jordan together, oh, just a hoot. The guys.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I'm all about humor. I mean, I don't think we have much else in life but a little laughter. And those two guys can make me laugh, and they're hilarious.
Okay, I love it.
And Jordan doesn't even, you know, like everybody parties, but Jordan wasn't even drinking much when I was hanging out with him. He tries to keep his wits about him. He just kind of, he's just a character.
Well, he has so many wits to
Might
keep.
be an alien. Who knows?
I mean, so do you think with Jordan, you said he has all this confidence in himself. Some people, though, that is to cover up an insecurity. Do you think that's what it is with Jordan, or is he just truly, he loves himself, which is great?
I think he gets up every morning and really is happy that he is Jordan, I think.
Great. Can't wait to watch him on Paradise.
Yeah.
Did you guys get closer on Paradise?
Yeah.
Good.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. And also with, we were just talking, you know what, I forgot what I was going to say. We're going to get back to it. You were talking about how he wasn't really drinking or anything. Well, who was like the biggest partier then?
Who's the biggest part? Oh, God, all the guys party a lot. Like, everybody can drink, man. All those guys can drink a little bit. So, yeah, I would say they're all pretty evenly party animals.
Did you need to let loose a little bit after that mental?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I think everybody wanted to let loose.
Okay, more comments coming in for you. Zabeth from YouTube says, Leo, what are your chances of being the next Bachelor? She wants to see it happen.
That's really sweet, but I think the chances of me being the next Bachelor are about as much as having a colony on Mars in the next year. I'd say they're equal chances.
Okay, I appreciate the honest answer.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I just don't think I'm clean cut enough, and I don't know. I've said this before, but I don't know. Like a lot of the Bachelors, like they usually have like more steady jobs than mine.
Oh,
like,
come live
little
with.
career.
But a stuntman's like exciting.
It's
so,
exciting, yeah. I've lived out here in LA for a long time. It's not cheap, I figured out a way to do it, so it's interesting. But
so are you single right now?
I am single, yes.
Okay, guys, hit him up. Slide into the DMs. I'm giving you the opportunity. Have you had a couple messages?
I've had a couple. Yeah, there's been some messages. Yeah.
Been some messages for Leo. Okay.
Very sweet. Keep them coming. That's okay.
Also want to talk about, you mentioned Becca's top guys, Jason. So Jason on Men Tell All, man, we saw him tear up as well. He debuted a new haircut, which, by the way, I asked him about, so head over to etonline.com and check out that. Perhaps the most important interview I've ever done was finding out what Jason's new hair routine is. We're talking to Leo about hair, Jason about hair. This is the stuff that matters, you guys. So I really thought Jason, he was someone I grew to like all season long. And I really you're watching and, oh, he's funny. Oh, I didn't realize he's funny. And he's this good guy. Now he's getting more emotional. And then at Men Tell All, I got to say, Jason really checked a lot of boxes on the Jason for Bachelor train. I mean, he cried. He was so sweet to Becca. He wanted to make sure he was friends with her. He was calling people out in a very adult way. What did you think of Jason's Men Tell All moments?
I thought that he must have trained for weeks for it, but he did a great. No, I'm just kidding. He's always been like that. He's a poised guy. He's a guy that has a very difficult job. It's a lot of responsibility. He's a pro, and he would be a good Bachelor. Absolutely. He knows how to let loose. And I saw all different sides of him because the first couple of weeks, like in the mansion, like he didn't get a group date, and he hadn't had a lot of time with Becca, and he was vulnerable, and we would have these nighttime chats, where we'd like kind of help each other feel good, and he was like my bunk buddy up. He was on the top bunk, so we grew really close, and as the season progressed, he developed a relationship with Becca that was beautiful, and but we all saw it coming. Like we could tell that he was going to bond with her. Like they seemed like a good match, and I think that he would make a great Bachelor, but I think a lot of guys would.
Okay, I love a bunk buddy nighttime chat. Love the bonding. Well, then let's talk about it. I mean, of course, we do not want to reveal anything, and the Bachelorette finale is next week, you guys. But if we're looking at the top couple of guys without knowing anything about what has happened, but say Blake, Garrett, and Jason are in the mix, do you have a pick? Somebody you'd really like to see become the Bachelor?
If I have a pick, no. Any of those guys would be great.
You close with Garrett?
I'm close with Garrett, yes.
Okay. What did you think
of? And Blake
of...
and Jason.
Okay, so all of them. I'm excited to hear Garrett give an interview for the first time. He had that Instagram scandal moment, but we haven't heard from him much more since then. So I'm excited to talk to Garrett more. What do you think? Did people judge him too harshly? Do you know a different Garrett?
I know the Garrett that I, spending time with someone literally 24 hours a day for 7 weeks, that's about the time I was on the show. You get to know someone really well. And I can tell you that I don't really know much about what he liked on Instagram, but I can tell you from my standpoint, the guy's like a very kind, funny, goofy dude, kind of like a Jim Carrey type guy that's just like really, really goofy and funny. And just one of those guys like if you're going to be stuck on an island, like he's a solid guy to just kind of find the positive in everything. So
well, Becca had said many times, even on Ari's season, that she loved a goofball. She loves to be goofy and fun.
That's the definition of a goofball, Garrett.
Okay. So. All right. Interesting. Well, Blake has seemed very in his head the last few episodes. Are we seeing Blake Blake is, I think, is a very emotional guy.
He's an emotional guy.
Yeah.
He's very in touch with his emotions, and he's been through a lot. And I love that about him. He has a level of depth that's really beautiful. The guy can talk about anything, too. So, I love him, too.
We've got two good guys at the end here. Okay, We have the Bachelorette finale next week, and right after it is going to be the Bachelor in Paradise premiere. So I want to wind down here with a little Paradise talk because Pierce said we'd get to your question. Pierce said, what did you enjoy more, the Bachelorette experience or the Bachelor in Paradise experience?
Ooh, they're so different. That's a difficult thing to really kind of answer. I would say that I have to say they're about equal for different reasons.
Okay.
But yeah, it was fun, both.
Well, we're excited to watch, and I was a little bit surprised. We had a Bachelor in Paradise promo during Men Tell All last night. I want to roll a clip from it because, Leo, it really surprised me.
Just pinch the nipple, please. There you go.
I'm not threatened by Leo. I'm not worried about the other guys because I know I'm falling in love with Kendall.
Good luck with grocery store bitch over there.
How can you be in love with somebody and your heart feels like it's breaking?
Leo versus Grocery Store Joe?
I mean, it'd be a good fight, you know? That'd be
Does it come down to a fight?
you guys will have to watch, but you know, it was entertaining. I'll say that much. I didn't come out of it with any you know, ill will or anything. It's entertaining, and it was still a good experience over there. So you'll have to wait and see what happens.
Well, Joe was at the Men Tell All. By the way, I love Joe, and he was very sweet, but I think the only guy not wearing a jacket. Joe, you got to put a jacket on.
Yeah, I don't know why he didn't wear a jacket.
I don't know why he didn't wear a jacket. But what was it like to see him at Men Tell All? Had you spoken since Paradise?
No, we hadn't spoken since Paradise, but it was fine. There was no, I don't really have time for hate, you know? So.
Okay.
It was good. Yeah.
So how are you and Joe now?
I guess we're okay, you know? Nothing, I would say we're in a good place.
Okay. Did you talk at the taping?
Yeah, we did.
Okay. Well, what can you tease for us about what happens between you and Joe in Paradise?
I would say that it was emotional. You know, I think oftentimes when people have feelings for, you know, someone, they can be irrational in their reactions, and you know, it's all about being human. And you know, if everybody's trips to Mexico were taped, I'm pretty sure a lot of people would have interesting.
We'd have a lot of regrets.
But yeah, Joe and I, it's going to be good TV.
Okay. Do you think Joe's a good guy?
I think Joe's a good guy.
And do you have any regrets or wish you'd done anything different in Paradise then?
Nope.
All right, Leo is owning it. Okay. Well, we are excited to see that. You know, when people's emotions get involved, some drama can happen.
That's the name of the game, man.
What'd you say?
That's the name of the game. That's what happens.
That's the name of the game.
You know?
And I mean, it seems from that trailer that it comes down to Miss Kendall.
Yeah. Yes. Maybe. Yeah.
We saw her clutching at your bare chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, it was. It was great. Paradise was enlightening.
In terms of how you feel about yourself or how you feel about other people or what?
Everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, an enlightening experience. All right, you guys, we are winding down here. Leo, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Oh, it is such a pleasure. I'm so glad we had not met all season. Leo, you guys, is on Instagram, is on Twitter. Follow him there. Are you on Snapchat?
No.
He's not on Snapchat. We're over it. We have Insta stories now, it would seem. I'm just kidding. So, Leo, thank you for being here. And everybody, Bachelorette finale is next week. Bachelor in Paradise is beginning. So, Bachelor Nation, the ball just keeps on rolling. And we will have a brand new Roses and Rosé recap up soon for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and everybody have a great day. Bye.